work. You guys should check her out. Um, and she had these like little tearaway things like, oh, if you're interested in learning how to paint with oils, like come and we do like little group classes and little and so I would go now and again, like I don't know, I think we did it like maybe 3 times a week, something like that, like do live paintings where she had a model in the room, and we'd paint from life, paint from a figure that's in front of us. And then it got to the point where I was doing just like private lessons with Michelle, and we'd be doing that like several days a week. And so yeah, that's really the only formal training that I had. I had a genuine interest in painting, but didn't really have the faculty to do it.
Right.
So I kind of came to Michelle with my ambitions and these kind of ideas that I had in my head, but I had no idea how to execute on canvas. So in a way, I would tell her like my idea of I want to do this kind of figure set in this kind of scene, and what I started doing was I just would start taking like photos, not even with like a camera, just like with an iPhone,
Yeah.
and I would set up a scene with a figure and a model, and I would just like set up a whole thing, and then be like, okay, I want to do a painterly representation of this and how it kind of exists in my mind, rather than make it look like you want to make it realistic, but you also want it to take on like just an artistic interpretation of that kind of scene that you've set up or
Right.
whatever. So yeah, so I've been learning from Michelle Dahl for about like 4 years now. And now that I've moved away from New Jersey to Tennessee, she's come down and like we'll work on stuff, and she's kind of been in essence like my training wheels for helping me like not paint myself into a corner. So I credit Michelle with a lot of guidance and stuff, and it's been great like having a teacher that I can bounce my ideas off of, and like learning about form and anatomy, and like the turning of light, and color theory and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So it doesn't it's oil painting's not something that like really came naturally to me. It's definitely, it takes me a while, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time. So like a painting that's like 36 inches by 48 inches, that'll take me like a month and a half or like 2 months
Oh
or
wow.
something like that, and that's like doing like 7 hours a day,
Right.
a couple days a week.
So not a
Doing
few
that.
hours like the drums you're gonna do.
No, no. So that's kind of a different, like I've kind of alternated between these two ways of painting. So I have like the kind of super figurative oil painting where I kind of set up a scene, and it's very time intensive and labor intensive, and it takes a long, long time. And then I have the more kind of stream of consciousness, like abstract watercolor and ink and just kind of weird mediums all together. And that I use that kind of way of painting to make the snare drums, and for instance like the Hesitation Wounds album that we came out with this year. That's how I did that, and
Oh, cool.
it's just experimenting with like ink, watercolor, ink, bleach, like just weird different textures and stuff to make an abstract, odd looking thing. But the two things like exercise different parts of my brain,
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, great question. I forgot what your name was, but
Oriana.
Oriana.
Right? Yeah.
Oriana.
Thanks,
There's
Oriana.
some comments here that there's no sound. Is there sound? I think we're good now.
Okay.
Right? You guys can hear everything? Okay. Sorry. So if you didn't hear the first part of that, Mike from SJC, Jay Weinberg, coming to you live from York, England, here at Gear for Music.
Yeah.
And Jay just talked about how he learned to paint and his painting methods. And if you're around England, London, York, Leeds, we're going to be at the Wardrobe tomorrow. So you can actually see Jay live paint 3 snare drums that he'll actually be playing one of them tomorrow night at about 7 p.m. So the event starts at 1 tomorrow. It's free to the public. Aside from being a fucking awesome drummer, sorry I swore. Aside from being a great drummer, everybody
That's
wanted me to
one.
not
We
do
should
that.
have a list.
Yeah, ding, that's one. That's hopefully going to be the only one. Aside from being an amazing drummer, Jay also paints, and we've been doing these great events together, and that's why we're here at Gear for Music. We've teamed up with Gear for Music and Evans, and we're going to be having Jay paint some snare drums tomorrow. So, hi, Mike. Hi, Jay. What's up, Steelface?
What's up?
Yeah, the event tomorrow starts at 1. We have Sin Digital Angst. What is the hardest Slipknot song to play live?
That's a good question. It's usually the ones that we like well, we've thrown in some stuff that like we haven't played in a long time or we haven't played ever. So, those are always kind of interesting when you're just feeling out a song's energy live because you can practice like till you're blue in the face, practice the song over and over together or on your own, but as soon as you're on stage it takes on a whole different life.
Right.
I remember usually like the ones that are the most like rewarding, like challenging end up being the ones that are like most rewarding to like accomplish live. Skeptic was like that off the new record. I love playing that song live. That's a fun one and it's challenging. Let's see what else.
They're all exhausting to watch you play.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Sure they're I'm sure you get tired as hell even playing them.
The Shape was really fun. That's one from the Iowa record that I've always like really wanted to play. And when yeah, it's got this really interesting midsection that's like totally off time and kind of weird, but like yeah, that was super exciting. So I'll go with
Awesome.
Skeptic and The Shape. Those are cool.
Awesome. Everyone's saying hi.
Hi.
Justin, Jay just answered that question. What's your favorite song? Matt, happy birthday. Jay, what's your favorite Drumheads?
My favorite Drumheads. I play Evans Drumheads. Those are my favorite Drumheads. More specifically, on my kick drums, I use an Evans EMAD 2, which is a 2-ply version of the EMAD head, and it's super punchy, has a lot of low-end body, but it still has a lot of attack, and that's great for the aggressive kind of music that I like to play. And that meshes really well with the heavyweight snare drum that Evans has been making recently. That's really great. I can tune it really, really high, and it gets me exactly the kind of like ear-piercing volume that I like. And the black chrome tom heads, similarly to the kick drum heads, that has a lot of warm resonance and you can tune them really nicely and they're really nice to listen to, but they also have a lot of attack.
Yeah.
So when I lay into it really hard, it gets that response, it gets that pop, and they sound great recorded, they sound great live. I've been so happy with the way like I've used those since pretty much this time last year on tour. And they just hold up great. They sound awesome. So those are my favorite drum heads.
Cool.
Yeah.
Plug for Gear for Music. We did a video earlier today that'll be on their YouTube page. I don't know, soon. Jay played the SJC Tour Series kit with those exact heads and tells you why in more depth. So check out that video. Why did you choose a 48 ply snare, and how did you even think of 48 ply?
Ooh, Mike thought of that. Actually, that wasn't even my idea. Mike thought of it. I told Mike my idea. Being a fan of drummers who have used historically like really thick ply snares, guys that play in like ska bands.
Yeah.
And, like
The Aquabats.
yeah, and 90s like punk and hardcore and metal bands.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, like had all those like really like popcorn sounding snares that were like super fast, and it suits well for blast beats and
For sure.
and crazy fast stuff and like thrash music and whatever, because it's so quick, because there's so much wood to it. It just like absorbs all that shock, and I guess I don't know, but like it's exactly the sound that I want, and so I kind of told Mike about my idea to have, because at the time I was playing metal snares that I really enjoyed. I had an acrylic
Half-inch
snare.
thick acrylic snare, yeah.
Yeah, and those were great, but then I kind of wanted something more, and I had the idea of like just super thick plies, and you were like, well, what if we put vents on the side? And that makes it stupid loud. And we actually mic the bottom head. We put a mic inside the vent, and we mic the top. So there's 3 blended snare channels when you see us play live. So yeah, it gives it like a whole other dynamic. It's offensively loud, just how I like it. And yeah, that was more Mike's idea. I just kind of had the idea of wanting something that's super loud and dense, and Mike like made it come to life.
Yeah. Well, the guys at the shop made it come to life.
I'm
the yes man. Those dudes built it in like a day, and I remember we shipped it to South America or something for you like the next day or something. We just wanted to go like crazy with it, like super loud, super thick, and the thicker the more body you have on the shell, the higher the pitch it's going to be. So.
Yeah, and I tune it like crazy tight.
Ear-piercingly loud. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you have for young drummers? Steelface. He's from Massachusetts.
All right, Steelface. The best advice is just to always have fun and always do it because you're having fun. That's like I love playing drums just because I get a sincere joy out of doing it.
And whether you're playing in Slipknot or not, like you have a dream and don't go for that dream. Like Jay is living proof that you can join your favorite band, when you're a kid, and just do it for fun.
Yeah, always do it for fun, and have ambitions and have dreams that you want to attain, but like attainable goals. Like all I ever wanted to do when I was 14 was like maybe one day if I start a band and stuff, we could play like the local bar like across the river from where I lived. Like that was my goal when I was 14, and that was like the end game, Right. And then once I achieved that, and like the band that I had put together with my friends like achieved that, then it was to play the other place that's like half an hour away.
Right.
And then it was let's play out of state, let's write a bunch of songs and record them and make a record and all that. So it was always like short-term little attainable goals, and then that just like after keeping doing it just because you're excited to like keep pushing yourself as a drummer and keep pushing your band or whoever you're playing with, just like keep pushing into attainable goals, and once you've reached someplace you try and reach someplace else, and eventually that snowballs in on itself, and years later you can like look back and be like, wow, this is some like crazy stuff that we did.
Exactly. You can't think of when you're a kid, I'm going to play for Slipknot, or I'm going to make a business, and when I'm 30 this is going to happen. You have to make small attainable goals that you just keep checking off the list. It's like a 5-year plan. You can have one personally for your business, and just keep updating it every year. Awesome. Where are you happier, studio or on tour? That is from Gretsch UK.
Studio or tour? The cop-out answer is really like, well, they're both different, and I do enjoy them both. But for me, the live experience is where it's at. Like, I really enjoy making records. And it's a tough process, and to make something good that you're proud of artistically is challenging, and I like that challenge. Always trying to push yourself, and always trying to make a recording that like represents where you are at that time. I enjoy that, but for me, that's like the work starts when that is like done, because it's really about the live experience, and that's what's really exciting for me. And I think for any band that I've played in, it's like that's where everything really comes alive. That's where I think that's where rock bands really that's just where it becomes interesting, because then it's like it's a live breathing thing, and you're there, and it could fall off the rails at any moment, and that's like it's risky, it's energetic, and you're there for a specific performance in time that it won't be duplicated exactly like that. So for me, I'm gonna go with live, even though I really like going between the two and making records and listening back and being proud of a recording. I think live is just where it's at.
Cool.
Live record, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, a bunch of people are asking what kind of sticks you use and what's your favorite stick.
I use Vader drumsticks. I've used Vader for a long time. Currently, I'm using the Universal model. For a while, I was using the XD Punisher, and that was really rad. It tapers really quick and it has a barrel tip, barrel wood tip on the end. And I remember I was making a record years ago, and I got just a huge box of like every different stick that was in the general vicinity of like between a 5A and a 5B, and I just tried every one and like taste tested, like recorded each snare hit or tom hit or cymbal hit with a different stick,
Yeah.
and found which one I thought sounded the best. And the way the Punishers felt great. The attack that it got, and it just like it's punishing. It's named that for a reason.
Rad.
But when and that was great for playing like punk rock that isn't so so technical and so like particular. So when I starting to play with Slipknot, I was using the Punisher, and then I began using the Universal just because it's a little bit lighter. I believe it's a little bit the thickness is a little bit less thick of a stick, but it still has that weight, but it's just a little like I can kind of flow better with it.
Cool.
So yeah, Vader Universal is what I'm using right now.
Rad. Steelface just asked, a bunch of people are asking actually more drum clinics. Will you do one at the SJC factory?
Ooh,
Probably.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Definitely.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm way down.
Colombia, South America. Yeah, our goal honestly is to do these types of things. This is the second one we've ever done.
Yeah.
We didn't even do it yet.
Well,
here in England.
Yeah. Well, we did one in Nashville where I
yeah.
live, and that timed out perfect because it was for the Summer NAMM show.
Yep.
Slipknot was starting a tour in Nashville, and I live around the corner from where we did it, so that was awesome. And now we're here, and we're gonna do it in Leeds tomorrow,
Yep.
and we want to do this all over. It's fun, It's fun to paint stuff and make stuff that you can kind of see it just come to life as it's happening, and we can hang out, we can talk, and
Totally.
and do a little bit of performing on it tomorrow and stuff. So we're down.
We're trying to do more than just a drum clinic where it's like not stale, but like the typical drum clinic where Jay's standing behind a table and you have to ask one question that you get one shot. So Jay's going to be painting in these events. Jay's in his natural habitat. You can come hang out and talk to him. So yeah, 2017 we'll probably hopefully be doing dozens and dozens more of these.
That'd
be
really cool.
Yeah.
I'm way into that. So thanks, Steelface. Does he live in Massachusetts?
Yeah,
Okay,
Steelface. He just came to our shop last month. And then Trend Kill from South America.
Okay.
Klein Regan asks you, are there any albums that recently got released that you're really digging at the minute?
Ooh, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
And yes, there are. The new album by a band called True Widow is awesome. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Avalgir, but it's got like 2 V's. I don't know. Check out the new album by True Widow. That's awesome. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I've been listening to Super Heaven a lot recently. New Neurosis album that just came out is awesome. What are other records that have come out recently?
I'm old, so I don't even know.
Turnstile or like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch of records are coming out.
Someone asked if you.
New Emma Ruth Rundle album is amazing.
2 people just asked if you're enjoying the new Korn album.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, Corey sang on one song and played it live for the first time.
Rad.
When we played a show with Korn a couple weeks ago, and that was pretty cool to watch.
Cool. A bunch of people are asking questions that Jay already answered, so this video will live on this YouTube after. You can go back and get your question answered.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hey, wait, I have a question I want to ask Mike from Tez Brown. Have there ever been any custom designed kits that you would have liked to keep for yourself?
Oh man. Well, all of them, honestly, because they're all like children of ours. I'm sure everybody in the shop can answer that and feel the same way. But some of my favorite kits were like the first Woodburn kit we ever did with the Butcher.
He's awesome.
He's amazing. He came up and did a crazy, he hit me with the idea, and we flew him out to Massachusetts, and he lived with me for like a week, and he would just 24/7 wood burn in our shop. And I'd bring him Taco Bell at like 2 a.m. and I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew he was a great artist, and he did this crazy tree wood burn thing, and it just turned out so beautifully. And I would have liked to keep that one. And actually I do. I have a couple that I've kept, just some kits that we've recycled from artists that we have in our museum. We have one of your first bass drums that I can't get rid of. And we keep them in our shop just because they're kind of like pieces of history for me and the company, like from way back when. So yeah, I mean, I wish we could have recently kept the kit we made for Frank Zumo from Sum 41. We cool. Did a collab with Shepherd Fairey and Obey. Wish I could have kept that one, but they live out there.
Brandon's Dexter kit is awesome.
That would be sick to have. Yeah.
That was what got me into SJC.
Yeah.
Brandon Steineker's Dexter kit.
Yeah.
Dexter's cool.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Let's see. Love the show at Red Rocks. Aaron Rivera.
Oh, that was a fun show. That was hard to breathe at that show.
You surprisingly remember every show you've ever played.
I do.
That's
well,
awesome.
I try. Maybe, I don't know about every
show. I've told you, like, hey, you got my buddy, and you're like, I remember that one.
Yeah, but how are you not going to remember a show at Red Rocks?
That's true. That is true.
That venue is built into the Red Rock.
It's amazing.
But it's much higher than Denver. I've found that out. It's like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like 1,500 feet above Denver.
Oh, wow.
Colorado. It's crazy high.
It's cold out there, too, at night. It's
cold.
Outside.
It's cold, and the audience is like, the amphitheaters, they kind of like roll up gently. That one is just like shoots straight up. So, and we do the jump the F up. I didn't swear. We do that part, and it was wild to see everybody just go up like dominoes. Up that thing. That was insane.
That's rad. I have a question for everybody. Does everybody like me and Jay's Britney Spears mics on our faces?
Yeah, or Madonna mics.
I just saw myself. I've
never worn one of these before.
Drummer Howard asks, can people order drum kits or snare drums with any brand of heads if they endorse them? Like I endorse a drumhead company from the UK. Howard, we ship our drums with Evans Drumheads just because we keep them in stock. Evans is just the brand that we feel represents our shells, and our bearing edge is the best. So you're welcome to obviously change them out, but just for our turnaround time to keep it at 8 weeks, which is really quick, we ship all of our drum heads with Evans. If we changed them out and had to special order all the heads, you'd be waiting 12 to maybe 15 weeks, which we don't want. So hope that answers your question. What is it like playing live at a Slipknot show? That's a good question.
Wow. There's a lot that goes into even thinking about that. I'm sorry. Wait, what was it? It was like.
Oh man, there's so many that just came in after that question.
Okay. Was it like playing a Slipknot show?
Jay Evans asked that. Yeah.
It's challenging. It's cathartic. It's energetic. It takes preparation. Yep. It takes hydration. But it's an amazing experience that I've never experienced anything like that before. So the last 2 years of touring, and we just wrapped up 2 years of touring last week. It's taken that amount of time to, and I'm sure it's still going to take me even more time to really process the last couple of years. But those shows are very intense, and beyond. Like, even though years ago when I was 18 and playing with Bruce and the E Street Band and stuff, that was a certain set of challenges that was engaging on a ton of different levels. The experience with Slipknot makes everything seem so easy in comparison.
I was gonna say easy, probably.
So yeah, it's all encompassing. It takes a lot of work and everything, but it's all so worth it because when you come off that stage, you really feel like you gave everything, just because the band and the music really demands a lot of you. So yeah, it's hard to put into words, but that's my answer for that.
Awesome. I'm sure it's the same for like people watching you guys too. I've seen you play a dozen times now, and just watching is all the things you said.
Yeah.
Energizing and just like nerves and like everything, and watching you like prepare for like 4 or 5 hours before you go on. It's like almost you're a a sports guy, a dude about to go play a football game. He's got to treat his body right and eat the right things before you go on and play, and
Totally.
treat your body correctly. It's more than just going up there and knowing a song and playing the drums.
Yeah. I'll tell you the first show that we played together was incredible to just like kind of sit there and have because we had spent the better part of a year making the last record, and then like 3 months on our own just preparing for our shows that were coming up, and then like maybe like 2 weeks or something us practicing together for that first show.
Yeah.
And man, like, when it all happened and the curtain opens and everybody's in the masks and the drums are going up and the fire's going and everything, that was like a moment that in my brain it was just like, that was a very unique, never has happened before, never will happen again. Like it was totally surreal, out of body experience. But yeah, and it's really gotten crazier.
That show, dude, I Brandon, me, my wife, and your mom.
Yeah.
So you were behind the kit.
Yeah.
And my wife, Brandon Steinecker, and your mom and I were just like 10 rows deep watching you. So
yeah.
I can have like 5% of what you felt, because I just the energy, like the hair on my arms is standing up, just remembering just all of it, like you getting into all that and like seeing it. And like after like halfway through this set, we were just like, I think everything like settled down and you were just in, and it was like, Jay is the drummer of Slipknot now. It was
rad.
Insane.
It was rad. That was a unique
sick.
moment. So stoked my mom was there.
Dude, she was going nuts.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
As the sexy drummer asks, I'm having really bad wrists from drumming. Any advice?
Bad wrists. So I'm gonna assume that that might mean like tendonitis or carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're not alone in that. I've experienced difficulty with that too. That was actually more than anything when I was younger, kind of growing up. Like I didn't want to take drum lessons because it made it like school, and I really didn't like school because I took guitar lessons and it was just annoying. And but then once I like my dad as a drummer was gonna like show me stuff, and I was like, I just want to play along the Ramones records and stuff. And he was like, all right, well, let me show you how to maintain your body so you can like keep doing this and stuff, because he experienced a lot of problems with his hands, carpal tunnel and stuff. I think he's had like multiple operations on his hands just to relieve that kind of stuff. So he was helpful in me learning how to hold my sticks properly, and it's a lot of just relaxing, I find, like not holding your sticks too tight, not gorilla gripping it.
Choking up.
Because and excuse me, we all have our tendencies to, we get excited and we get maybe we don't stretch the best, maybe our muscles are tight for whatever reason, and so you can kind of get injuries like that. The most important thing that I've found for my own playing is just to relax my hands, not hold my sticks too tight. Most often, if you like touch the stick out of my hand, it'll just go flying, because I'm really not holding that tight. You can still get a lot of power, but you don't have to gorilla grip your stick. So I would say to relieve any kind of thing like that. I'm not a doctor, but it just makes sense. If you're gripping a little like looser, then that'll help your wrists out. And actually, I ice my hands, my arms, and I've actually started to do my feet and my legs after a show. Just like literally grab a bucket full of ice and water, and it hurts.
Yeah.
But like athletes do it. Like they'll take a bath in like ice water, and that helps. That reduces the swelling after an hour and 40 minutes, or if you've been warming up for like throughout the day. I'll probably play drums for like 4 hours or something like that on a Slipknot show day. So that's a lot of activity, and your hands will swell up and whatever. So just like dunk it in ice, and that helps.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry if we don't get all your questions, you guys.
These are good questions.
These are really good questions.
Yeah.
Aaron Brown, what do I think is the best drum to make? That's a good question. I don't know.
A kick drum?
No, what's the best drum to make?
Yeah.
Any drum. I mean, we'll do some crazy stuff, but Jay and I were talking earlier, like we try and marry art and music together and make a playable piece of art, really, you know, and like as long as it's not, we've done some kind of crazy outside the box stuff, like the Back to the Future kit or whatever.
I was gonna say the DeLorean kit.
The DeLorean kit was crazy. And that was like just a little bit too much where the bass drum opens, so there's a huge gap in the kick drum, so the bass drum sounded a little bit weird. The Acorn kit.
Is it open on? It's open on the side.
Yeah, there was a motor inside and they open, and
what?
That was really purely for looks. He tore that kit once, and we made an Acorn looking kit for A Day to Remember, which was cool. But I think after that we realized,
that Warped Tour.
Yeah, it was on Warped Tour and then a bunch of festivals, which I bet you guys were on as well. But yeah, we typically won't do stuff like that anymore. We'll try and just keep it within a drum. So, you know, there's a question I see, what makes for great sounding kits, and a good shell, a great bearing edge, you know, as long as the bearing edge is, the apex is perfect, where the drum head collar can sit on it, you'll get great tuning, it'll stay in tune, the tone will be perfect. There's a lot of things that go into making a drum, but the shell and the bearing edge are two of the most important. If you have a lumpy bearing edge, it's going to sound not very good. So you can make really any kit sound great if you put a good bearing edge on it.
Yeah.
What do you think of Yorkshire?
Yorkshire, where
we're
at
in Yorkshire.
today? Yeah, that's where.
Right.
I love it. It's like it's all old and the architecture is really cool. We went and got tea.
Yep.
And
lots of tea.
A lot of tea here, and I'm a big fan of tea. Yeah, Yorkshire is awesome. I just love that it's so old.
That's amazing.
Like,
you saw a building from 1606.
Well, a guy was born there in
yeah.
1606, so that stands to reason that the building is much older than that. And like we found a street that was like from the medieval times and stuff. Like, it looks like, I mean, I don't know if this is like sacrilegious to say it, but it's like, it feels like you're like walking through a Harry Potter, like a real life Harry Potter kind of world.
Yeah.
So it's what that would be based on.
Yeah.
It's
I just
awesome.
saw Harry Potter 8 months ago, so.
Sick.
Good thing I did. I'm way late to the game, but Brandon C wants to know, what's your worst experience drumming, if you want to talk about it.
Ooh, my
Did you ever
worst.
fall off the stage or anything?
I have.
Whew.
Yeah, like faulty drum risers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's happened. You know, like if you're a drummer and you have the nightmare where like I'll have like a nightmare where like I'm playing and all of a sudden I get like really small, or like my drums start like going away from me, because that's happened where like if I'm playing and all my stuff isn't like bolted down and stuff. This literally happened on the last tour. Like my kick drum wasn't like bolted down. Like usually it's like kind of in these stirrups, but we get through like the first song and I think I just kicked the kick drum out of the stirrup. And so like literally my kick drum started like going away slowly. So now I'm starting to play the song. I'm keeping playing the song, but like my right foot is getting like further and further away from me. That stuff is a nightmare. And you can't like do anything about it, and I can't tell anybody about it because I've got the mask on, and it's like it's so crazy. But like, yeah, gear stuff is when that's like my worst nightmare. Or like if my beater breaks in half, which has happened, and then your kick drum is gone.
Yep. That's
a shame. So yeah, those are probably like my nightmare situations, and I always hate when they happen.
Well, turning into a small dude playing in your dreams, that was
or I'll show up to the gig, and the whole band's ready, and there's no drums there.
Oh God!
Like I've had that happen before. Yeah, like I get on stage, I'm all ready to play, and I haven't set up my drums, and then I have to like
set up your massive kit in a second.
Yeah, and all the guys are ready for me to play. Like it's oh my God.
All right.
I pray that never happens. It was a nightmare for me.
Aaron Rivera wants to know if I'm just gonna say no to this one. Will you ever have a 48 ply kit in the future? No, he won't. Just snare drums.
Okay, yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. We made a 20 ply kick drum for a Wilhelm Scream like 12 years ago. And it was cool. It was a cool experience.
What would that sound like, a 48 ply kick?
It was just like I said earlier, the thicker the shell, the more mass of the shell, the higher the pitch. And like, I don't know, why would you want? I didn't think about it then.
Yeah.
I was super young and like just started building drums, and So I just did it, and it just didn't have the body that we wanted.
Okay.
I think we just thought it would be cool, and he was just like, let's try it, funny. And it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't cool.
So no, Jay will only have 48 ply snares.
Okay. Sorry, dude.
And Split Smile asked, what have you got planned? Or no, there was a question on there earlier about what your kit was going to be in the future.
Oh.
We just landed actually on Jay's like perfect kit.
Yeah.
Maple shells, reinforcement rings.
Yep.
Sharp 45-degree edges.
They're sick. They're my favorite drums that I've played so far. It's like that's my tone. We found it. We've done it.
Awesome. Did it.
Did it, dude.
Let's see. Please do a drum solo. Sorry, we're gonna have Jay doing a drum solo on Gear for Music's YouTube page.
Yeah.
Soon, this week or next week.
I think they have to do it now.
Yeah. No, we can't. Sorry.
Right now.
Check out.
We don't have it all mic'd up.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
Has your dad seen you play live in Slipknot?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's, man, we could go into the whole story. Like, I met the band through like them being on Conan years ago, and yeah, so like we maintained a friendship ever since I was like 9 years old from that, and would come out to see the band all the time, and my family and myself, we've always been a fan of the band. We've always been friends with the guys. So, when all this stuff started kicking off, my dad, he actually came to the studio once when we were recording the record, after he had finished a tour. I remember he came home, he like came back from Australia, and he was in LA like on his layover, and came and like checked out our studio and
That's
stuff.
cool.
And yeah, he's been to a bunch of shows. It's rad because we've been playing so much that we kind of pass through like some family members' area like several times a year. So like my sisters come out to a bunch of shows, my mom will come out to a bunch of shows, my dad will come out to a bunch of shows, and yeah, it's been really rad to kind of share that with him, because I grew up going to see him play and like sitting right underneath him under the stage, and just like watching and learning and absorbing without, this is long before I had even started playing drums, and to kind of like share that with him in this way now, and kind of just like reverse our roles is really interesting. And even to the extent of like they played the Rock in Rio festival in Rio, Brazil like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and we played it last year.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Now it's fun that we get to like, we can like compare like, oh, what was Rio like when you played at Rock in Rio and stuff like that. So that's really rad. And we're both very busy, and he tours a lot and he plays a lot, and we don't live that close to each other now, but like anytime we can. The last show I think they came to was at the Forum in LA over the summer.
Awesome.
Yeah, like if we can do that, plan like a family trip where like the whole family like comes out to LA, and we had a day off, so we'll hang out on the day off and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
Rad. Somebody asked earlier, I forget their name, and I'm sure a bunch of people are dying to know, how bad does your mask smell?
So bad. So bad.
It smells pretty bad.
Yeah, I only have the one, and we've played almost 200 shows, so you do the math. That thing smells really bad.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. Brandon C., besides a drummer, what was your second dream?
Ooh. Well, I'd say art, and that kind of like I do that, so that's been kind of like a dream in progress of becoming reality, and it's fun. One thing that I kind of like put to the wayside to drum or focus on drumming was hockey. I was a hockey player. I was a goalie for 7 years. And once I found myself gravitating more towards music and wanting to spend more time doing that, I kind of learned like I could either commit half of myself to both of these things, or I could try and excel at one and really put myself into it. So I let hockey fall to the wayside because I felt like I was falling out of love with it. Team I was playing for, like in high school, it was no fun. Like nobody was having any fun, and that's really kind of my basis for like doing whatever. Is just, is it fun? And playing music was super fun. So so I gave up hockey. I still love hockey. Ice hockey, it's like my favorite sport. So yeah, that's a dream that had I not done drums and art and stuff, then maybe I would have pursued that. Like, Maybe. Who
Cool.
knows?
What team would you play for? Want to play for?
I would have wanted to play for the New Jersey Devils.
Rad.
That's the team that I grew up loving. And yeah, but as they say, if things were any different, they'd not be the same.
Sync on that one.
True.
Maddie Jones asks, can you remember signing a drumhead in Leeds for a kid called Maddie? If so, cheers for that.
Cheers, dude. Yes.
Um,
Leeds was cool. We played there with Suicidal at the early part of this year. That was rad.
Awesome. Cool. Bright Edge 03 asks a question for me. Ever since SJC took off, thank you. That's awesome that you think it took off. Do you still find the time to drum as much as you used to? No, that sucks. Running a business and having a family and stuff like that is definitely hard. Like you tour 90% of the year, so all you do is drum.
Yeah.
I'm running a business and focusing on SJC, so I don't really, unfortunately, get time to drum very much. My wife and I just moved into a house where I can have a drum set up. But by the time I get home, honestly, from working and dealing with drums all day long and listening to them, it's like I just want to be home and relax. So not really. I want to play drums more, but building them and running the company doesn't allow me to. So bummer.
And we thank you for that. We thank you for that.
No problem.
Yeah.
What is your funniest and coolest tour story from Jeff Cedar? What's up, Jeff? How you doing, dude?
What's up, Jeff?
I know Jeff. Jeff's a brand ambassador for SJC.
Right on.
He's the best.
What was the question?
What's your funniest or coolest tour story?
Funniest or coolest tour story? The first one that comes to mind, because it was just so rad, was I was filling in for a band from Norway called Kvelertak.
I remember that.
And that was super fun because I had I literally got a call from a guy at their record label. Was like literally like, hey, I need a drummer. This guy, like, he hurt his arm. Jettel from Kvelertak has like an arm problem where it like happens. It's happened several times. And so he was like, I need a guy to fill in a pinch for this band. Like, can you learn like 2 of their records on a flight to Seattle like tomorrow?
I remember you telling that.
Yeah, and I was like, what band is it? And he was like, Kvelertak. I was like, yeah, I know their vibe. I don't know any of their songs, but I know it's like party metal, black metal. Like, the songs are all like 8 minutes long or something, and nothing really repeats. It's all in Norwegian. Like there's no English.
So you don't have any like lyric to
no, like no vocal cues or whatever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So, but I was like, yes, I will totally do it. And so I flew out to Seattle and met these guys. And we just started, like, I was like, all right, I'll join your band for the next month or whatever. It was so much fun. We had like the best time. And then one of the shows, we were playing in San Francisco, and we get told by somebody at the venue, hey, James Hetfield called the venue and he's gonna come to the show and he's gonna be like on the side at your show. And we're like, yeah, right. So sure enough, like we like get up there and James Hetfield is right on the side of the stage,
That's
like
insane.
headbanging and stuff. I was like, that is way too cool. So that was really fun. That was
That's
a cool
awesome.
tour story.
Cool. A bunch of you guys are asking what sticks Jay uses. He already answered that, so check out the one earlier.
Yeah.
And Aaron Brown, last one we're gonna do because we're gonna actually roll out with Jay's performance from earlier today. Aaron Brown, yes, you should start a YouTube channel about drumming, right? I think anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel or any social media for drumming should totally do it. So
yeah, do your thing, man.
do it. Cool.
We got 10 minutes. We got one more. We can do
one more question. All right, guys,
Yeah.
throw them in here, and I'm gonna just Russian roulette. I'm gonna pick one.
All right. Let's do one that's kind of open-ended.
Yeah. Yes, Aaron, you should start a YouTube channel for sure.
Totally. What have you got planned for the future? That's a good one. We can talk about that. Did we hit that?
No.
We didn't really hit that.
Not really, no.
Split Smile asks, what have you got planned for the future? Let's see. On the docket, we're doing this event tomorrow at the Wardrobe in Leeds. That'll be really exciting. I'd like to paint more snare drums and do more of that because that's really fun and I love doing it. It's fun doing these events, like getting to hang out with people that are interested in checking that out. And yeah, that's a fun thing that I like to do. So I want to do more of that. I'm gonna do a lot more canvas painting this year and hopefully do a show out in the LA area by like maybe this time next year or something. I think that'd be really cool. Um, Hesitation Wounds has a couple shows coming up in December on the west coast of America. We're doing San Francisco, LA, and Mesa, Arizona in December. That'll be cool. Hopefully do some more Hesitation Wounds stuff. I think that'd be really awesome.
We got NAMM in January in
Got
Anaheim.
NAMM. That'll be super exciting.
Jay's
Some
gonna
other...
be. We're gonna do the live painting event in
Yep.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
And then Jay's gonna be at our booth this Saturday of NAMM doing a signing
Yeah.
behind the kit that he toured with last year.
That's gonna be awesome.
That'll be rad.
Yeah, we might do some other stuff maybe that we can't announce yet, but that'll be cool.
That will be cool.
And in Nashville, like starting other projects and just kind of collaborating with friends and stuff and doing cool stuff like that. Always playing music, always trying to, just expand and do cool stuff with cool people.
Love it.
Yeah, so lots of new music, lots of new art. You can find it like pretty much anywhere online, all Instagram and
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter and stuff. Like new stuff is always popping up.
Yeah.
So that's on my end. What about you? What are you up to?
SJC stuff, man. We got NAMM, obviously. We got Black Friday back at home in the States. We got Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Big holiday season, just wrapping up the year. Next year, we got some really big plans for the company. We're going to eventually start making our own drum shells, so we're planning all that out. Launching our own hardware, pedals and stands and stuff at NAMM in January. A bunch of new products. A bunch of events with you that we're planning into the spring. And yeah, follow our social medias, SJCs and J's, and doing a lot of collabs together. Obviously, things individually. Love doing the collab stuff. So again, come out tomorrow to Leeds if you guys are around England. Starts at 1 p.m. And we'll be there. Jay will be painting. Yes, you'll get to meet him. He's going to be doing his event, live painting the drums. Then he's going to do like a little clinic after, playing some drums, and he'll meet all you guys, sign autographs, take pictures, and the 3 snares he's going to paint will be there actually for sale. We'll have merch and all the good stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. Jay, thank you for being here. Jay just wrapped up a 2-year tour last week, and he flew all the way from Tokyo to London 2 days ago to be here. So, dude, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having us.
Gear for Music, you guys rule. Thank you so much for supporting SJC and having us come here. Evans, thanks for being a part of it. Stay tuned to Gear for Music's YouTube page for all the awesome videos we did today, and we're going to roll part of the video that Jay did on this awesome kit. So thank you guys for joining in and all the great questions, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.